Hey buddy, Aaron here. Welcome to another anime review. Today, we're going to look at a singular episode, which is Steins Gate episode 23, Beta Divergence, which essentially is a prequel to the actual Steins Gate Zero anime that's supposed to be coming out probably hopefully this year or next year, I believe. I think it's coming out this year though, now as I'm saying this. The video game came out, which was the light novel, or not light novel, excuse me, visual novel, came out last year, I think, like toward December. But essentially, what this is this is a prequel to the anime that's going to come out, the Steins Gate Zero anime. And I hate to tell you this guys right now, but if you have not seen Steins Gate, if you have not seen it and you want to see it without being spoiled of what's going to happen, click off my video now, because this is going to be a big spoil. I'm going to put it on the screen right here in big letters, probably spoilers. It's going to be unfortunate, but I have to essentially do that for this because it wouldn't make sense otherwise. Now, I love Steins Gate. I really do. I think that I was super excited when I heard about Zero, so I was really happy about this. And I actually only just recently learned that an episode came out like this. And I hate to say that because it's like you love a series so much, but you don't know when an extra series comes out like this or an extra episode. So yeah, unfortunately, I only learned about this recently. But I figured, you know what? Let me review it now because Zero is coming out probably within this year, so might as well get this out of the way, right? So essentially, Okabe Rintaro, or Hohim Kiyoma, whichever you want to name him as, he has finally gotten back to the Alpha world line, which is the world line where everything's supposed to go okay. He knows that, unfortunately, Kurusu is probably either not going to be in his life or is going to be dead, and, he really can't do anything about that, and it hurts him a lot to do that, but he then has Suzuka, who was the time-traveling person that in the story, who actually was using a time machine. She comes back and tells him that he needs to stop World War III by saving Kurusu. Now, if you guys remember, in the actual regular anime or the visual novel, he goes back in time. He fails once to save Kurusu, and unfortunately, that leaves him with this kind of lingering thought of like, oh, I'm gonna fail. But he actually has a thing on his phone that actually is him in the future, telling him how to succeed in saving her and keeping her alive. Now, what this does and what Steins Gate Zero is going to do is Steins Gate Zero, at least the speculation wise, is going to actually go into what if he didn't actually save Kurusu? What if this is him on this world line, him in the future that he talked to, that he talked to himself, telling him how to save everyone and how to do what he had to do. But remember, that person had to exist. So essentially, it's following the route of him going toward World War III route. Now, what's interesting about this is, so what we have from this episode, which is really cool, is it's a what if episode. It's a whole difference of, so now instead of him going back in like the regular series of him going back again, this time successfully saving Kurusu because he does save her, it's him not wanting to go back and save her because he just thinks that it's not going to work. He thinks he's going to fail again. He's tired of going back and trying to manipulate time. He's done with it. So what we see is that Okabe actually goes away from his kind of Tsunobu self, which he's like, I don't want to do any more of this stupid crap. I don't want to believe in Hohim Koma anymore. I don't want to talk about divergence points or stuff like that. He's actually now more so a focused college student. He actually goes to mixers and goes to events with friends and stuff like that. He is wearing all black. He's not wearing his usual lab coat attire. He is someone completely different, and it's interesting to see that. So this episode essentially goes into that concept of him doing that. I'm not going to spoil all of the episode because I think it's really cool, some of the stuff that happens, some of the little hints and tidbits. You have to really pay attention during some of the scenes. That there's actually certain characters that will show up that are going to be in Zero, that are going to be just shown really briefly. And I missed them my first time, but I looked at forums and comment boards and stuff like that, and I was like, wow, I missed that. I can't believe it. So, definitely keep an eye out for certain characters that will show up. Now, what essentially is so cool about this episode is that in many ways it was so great to see a kind of what if scenario, because one thing I wish the anime would have did is I kind of wish it would add OVAs exploring the visual novel plots that go toward the other routes that you can get in the game, because in the visual novel, which I highly recommend now that it's in English, definitely grab it somehow. It's on Vita, it's on the PC, it's on PlayStation 3. There's many ways of getting it. Get it. It is freaking awesome. I played it recently all the way through. I got all the endings except for one, which is my Yuri's, because I'll tell you right now, my Yuri is actually one of the harder ones to get outside of the actual true ending. The true ending is hard to get. Hers is hard to get though, because if you're actually going for the true ending like I did the first time through, you have to essentially lock in at the true ending. You have to lock in toward the Kurusu route. and that means that Mayuri kind of gets thrown to the wayside. So her ending is essentially you having to go through the whole game again if you didn't save and do all that stuff, which I unfortunately did not do, which I should have did, but it's okay. I'm gonna go through it eventually. But it's interesting to see this as a good beacon of what this Zero is going to be about. You know, it really was cool. And I think seeing Okabe in this character is going to be very interesting because we see at the end of this episode something that looks like it reawakens both of his personalities, both the mad scientist holding Kiyoma, but also at the same time keeping the realist of now his new Okabe Rentaro form, because I mean in many ways he is now someone different because of losing Kurisu. It's going to be interesting to see what that route takes and what the anime does with this. And I'm really curious, like, how many episodes it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be 12 or 24. I really presume it's going to be 12 because I don't know how you can make this a long series unless you really add a lot of depth to it. But who knows? I hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully it's a long series because I will watch it definitely. And I'll have my review out when it's out. But I'll tell you guys right now, if I had to give this an A through F, I have a solid. So I have to give it a solid A plus. It is awesome. You know, it's not just because I love Steins Gate, but I think as an episode whole, it does a lot of things right in the sense that it keeps you thinking, wow, this is a what if scenario. This is really cool how it does that. It has a lot of little like hints and stuff and little like kind of hidden secrets away and Easter eggs that if you really pay close attention to, you'll actually see appear in there, which is really cool. Like even the credits, there's a slight image of the credits that I noticed that a few people will notice that really is also kind of not spoiler but a tidbit toward the Steins Gate Zero. So I mean definitely check that out. But yeah, it's just awesome. It's really good. So watch it. It's, you know, there's actually a lot of videos there's a lot of YouTube videos that only play the last like 9 minutes, which are essentially the biggest convergence point. So you don't have to watch the whole episode, but if you want to, it definitely still a great episode. But you can actually just watch like the last 10 minutes and actually get what's gonna essentially be the story of the beginning of Steins Gate Zero. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the small review. You know, it's funny that one episode took me 7 minutes to review because honestly, it's just that chock full of stuff that you could find, and you know everything about it is awesome. It's still using the same animation, it's still using the same voice acting. It's still great. All those retrospects. I didn't even mention that because honestly, it's already still doing that essentially. It's just a Divergence episode essentially, but it still has great animation, still has great voice acting, all that. So I mean, I'm pumped for this. I really am. Anyways, guys, like always, please, you know, do what you have to do. You know, subscribe, like my video, share it. And as always, until our paths cross again in the next review, have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.